The Echoes of Possession: How a True Story Inspired The Exorcist. The 1973 film, The Exorcist, terrified audiences with its chilling portrayal of demonic possession. While the story seems like pure fiction, the seeds of horror were sown in a real-life event, the alleged 1949 exorcism of a young boy in Maryland. This article explores how this true story, shrouded in mystery, found its way into William Peter Blatty's iconic novel and the subsequent film adaptation. The inspiration for The Exorcist came to Blatty while he was a student at Georgetown University. Whispers surrounded the case of a boy, known by pseudonyms like Roland Doe or Robbie, who allegedly underwent an exorcism. Details were scarce, reported only in a handful of newspapers. The story, however, lodged itself in Blatty's mind, eventually metamorphosing into his 1971 novel. The real-life events surrounding Roland Doe remain unclear. He was a 13-year-old boy living with his Lutheran family in Maryland. The reported possession supposedly began after he dabbled with a Ouija board with his recently deceased aunt, a known spiritualist. Strange occurrences followed. Objects flew inexplicably, disembodied voices echoed, and the young boy exhibited disturbing behavior. Desperate, the family sought help from the church. Two priests, Walter Halloran and William Bowdern, were authorized to perform the exorcism. Accounts of the ritual, documented in journals and interviews, were later accessed by Blatty. The grueling process, lasting weeks, supposedly involved violent outbursts and pronouncements in languages unknown to the boy. While the details of the exorcism remain shrouded in secrecy, their impact on Blatty's work is undeniable. The novel, The Exorcist, mirrored the core elements: a young person possessed by a demonic entity, the struggle of faith versus evil, and the desperate resort to a religious ceremony. However, Blatty took creative liberties. He changed the possessed individual from a boy to a girl, Regan, for a more dramatic impact. The story became a psychological exploration of good versus evil, set against the backdrop of a modern, secular society. The 1973 film adaptation by William Friedkin further amplified the horror. Special effects pushed the boundaries of the time, vividly portraying the physical and psychological torment Regan endured. The film became a cultural phenomenon, sparking debates about religion, the supernatural, and the boundaries of human experience. The question remains: was Roland Doe truly possessed? There's no definitive answer. The Catholic Church, while acknowledging the existence of demonic possession, maintains a cautious approach towards such claims. Mental health professionals often attribute similar cases to psychological disorders or elaborate hoaxes. Despite the ambiguity surrounding the original event, The Exorcist stands as a testament to the enduring power of storytelling. It taps into our primal fears of the unknown and the vulnerability of the human mind. The film's legacy lies not just in its ability to terrify, but also in its exploration of faith, doubt, and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of darkness. Even if the events that inspired it remain shrouded in mystery, The Exorcist continues to resonate, a chilling reminder that the line between fiction and reality can sometimes be very thin. From farmhouse to fright flick, The Conjuring's roots in reality. The Conjuring, a 2013 horror film that sent shivers down spines worldwide, wasn't entirely a work of fiction. While the movie takes creative liberties for a chilling cinematic experience, it draws inspiration from a very real haunting: the Perron family's ordeal in Harrisville, Rhode Island. A haunting in Harrisville. In 1971, Roger and Carolyn Perron, along with their 5 daughters, moved into a historic farmhouse brimming with unsettling history. The Perron family soon began experiencing strange phenomena: objects flying, disembodied voices, and a pervasive sense of dread. According to their accounts, the disturbances escalated, including physical attacks and apparitions. The family reached out to Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators, for help. The Warrens take the case. Ed and Lorraine Warren, a controversial yet captivating couple in the paranormal world, investigated the farmhouse. Their methods involved interviews, historical research, and conducting seances to make contact with the spirits. The Warrens believed the house was haunted by multiple entities, with a particularly malevolent presence they attributed to Bathsheba Sherman, a woman rumored to have practiced dark magic on the land centuries prior. Fact and fiction on film. The Conjuring takes the Perron family's experiences and the Warrens' investigation as its foundation. The film portrays some events with a heightened sense of horror, such as the intensity of the poltergeist activity and the graphic nature of the demonic possession Carolyn allegedly suffered. Here's a breakdown of the real-life inspiration and the film's adaptations. The Farmhouse. The movie accurately depicts the farmhouse's layout and unsettling atmosphere. The Perron family. The film portrays the family dynamic and their experiences with some creative license. While the movie condenses events for dramatic effect, the core of their experiences finds its way onto the screen. The Warrens. Ed and Lorraine Warren are central figures in the film, and their investigation methods are shown. However, the extent of their success in cleansing the house remains a point of contention. Bathsheba Sherman. The historical accuracy of Bathsheba's existence and her connection to the haunting are debatable. While the film presents her as a malevolent force, the Warrens' claims haven't been verified. The legacy of The Conjuring. The Conjuring's box office success spawned a horror franchise, sparking renewed interest in the Warrens' case files. However, the film also reignited debates surrounding the validity of paranormal investigations and the interpretation of such experiences. The enduring mystery. Whether a demonic presence truly tormented the Perron family or their experiences had a more psychological explanation remains a mystery. The Conjuring serves as a reminder of our enduring fascination with the unknown and the power of storytelling, even when the lines between fact and fiction blur. The Amityville Horror. A haunting steeped in reality. The Amityville Horror, a chilling tale of a family terrorized by a malevolent presence in their new home, has captivated audiences for decades. However, the story goes beyond a fictional haunted house. It's rooted in a real-life tragedy that casts a long shadow over the events that transpired later. In 1974, a seemingly peaceful suburban neighborhood in Amityville, New York, was jolted by a horrific crime. Ronald DeFeo Jr., a 23-year-old man, brutally murdered 6 members of his family in their Dutch colonial house at 112 Ocean Avenue. The details were nightmarish, forever staining the location. 13 months later, the Lutz family, unaware of the full history, purchased the house at a significantly reduced price. Their experiences formed the basis of the infamous story. George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, claimed to have encountered a relentless barrage of paranormal phenomena. The house, they reported, oozed a cold, oppressive atmosphere. Disembodied voices, strange apparitions, and levitating objects plagued them. Their experiences were documented in the 1977 book, The Amityville Horror, by Jay Anson. The book, a massive bestseller, propelled the story into the public eye. A subsequent film adaptation in 1979 solidified the legend, turning 112 Ocean Avenue into a pop culture symbol of haunted houses. However, the veracity of the Lutz family's claims has always been a subject of intense debate. Skeptics point out that the Lutzes only resided in the house for 28 days before fleeing. They also highlight inconsistencies in their accounts and the fact that they sought out paranormal investigators, potentially inviting sensationalism. William Weber, the realtor who sold the house to the Lutzes, later admitted he downplayed the murders to avoid scaring away potential buyers. This raises questions about the Lutzes' level of knowledge concerning the house's dark history. Ronald DeFeo Jr. himself offered a bizarre explanation for the events. He claimed demonic voices in the house compelled him to commit the murders. While this was likely a ploy to avoid conviction, it added another layer of unease to the story. Despite the controversy surrounding the hauntings, the Amityville Horror endures. The chilling combination of a real-life tragedy and a family's unsettling experiences continues to intrigue. The unanswered questions about the events that unfolded within the walls of 112 Ocean Avenue fuel the enduring mystery. The Amityville Horror serves as a reminder that the lines between fact and fiction can blur, particularly when dealing with the supernatural. The real horror lies not in ghosts or demons, but in the human capacity for violence and the lasting impact it can have on a place. The Amityville story may be shrouded in doubt, but the tragedy that unfolded there remains a chilling reality. From dream house to nightmare, the true story behind The Watcher. The chilling Netflix series, The Watcher, captivated audiences with its tale of a family stalked by an anonymous figure obsessed with their new home. But for viewers who thought it was pure fiction, a shiver ran down their spines upon learning the show was inspired by a terrifying real-life event. In 2014, Derek and Maria Broaddus, brimming with excitement, purchased their dream house in idyllic Westfield, New Jersey. Just 3 days after closing the deal, their joy turned to unease. A white envelope addressed in block letters to the new owner arrived. Inside, a typed letter, signed by the Watcher, welcomed them to the neighborhood. While seemingly friendly at first, the letter went on to describe the house's history in unsettling detail, mentioning a family who had lived there for decades and watched it through the years. The unsettling welcome was only the beginning. Subsequent letters from the Watcher grew increasingly disturbing. The sender mentioned knowing the names of the Broaddus children and expressed a desire to watch them grow. The letters spoke of a secret pact made by those who watched over the house, implying a sinister tradition of monitoring its inhabitants. Fear gripped the Broaddus family. The idyllic dream house started to feel like a prison. The police investigation yielded no leads, and the identity of the Watcher remained a chilling mystery. The Broadduses, unwilling to risk their children's safety, ultimately decided against moving into the house. They sued the previous owners, alleging they knew about the letters but failed to disclose them. The lawsuit was eventually dismissed. The Broaddus story, documented in a captivating New York Magazine article titled "The Haunting of a Dream House," became a national sensation. It perfectly captured the anxieties of homeownership and the unsettling feeling of being watched. This true-life horror tale was the inspiration for Netflix's The Watcher. The show takes creative liberties with the story. The Brannick family, portrayed by Naomi Watts and Bobby Cannavale, do move into the house, facing escalating threats and a growing web of suspicion surrounding their neighbors. While the core elements of the Broaddus case remain, the show adds fictional characters and plot twists to heighten the suspense. Despite the fictional additions, The Watcher serves as a chilling reminder of the real-life horror experienced by the Broaddus family. The series taps into our primal fear of the unknown and the vulnerability we feel within the walls of our own homes. The question of who the Watcher is and their motives remains unanswered in both the show and real life. This lingering mystery adds a layer of realism to the horror, as unresolved threats often feel more terrifying than clear-cut dangers. The story of The Watcher transcends entertainment. It highlights the emotional toll of stalking and the psychological impact of feeling unsafe in your own home. It serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that sometimes the scariest things aren't the monsters lurking in the shadows, but the unseen individuals who may be watching us all too closely.